Hey guys, Casual Crono here. In this video, we are going to do a deep dive with Velette, who is pretty much the rock, the foundation of a very solid Thunder team. If you get her 5-star, she also comes with Guns, a sidekick that I use nearly all the time. So let's get into it. So congratulations. You just got spooked by a gold door and you got Velette normal style. What do you do with her? Well, whenever I get a new character, I usually go to the Another Eden wiki, amazing resource, and read over their skills. In her case, I basically try to classify people as either a main damage dealer, a support character, or a tank of some kind. And the easiest way for me to determine that is to look over the skills, whether it's on the wiki or just reading here. The problem with damage dealers, for example, and I'm not going to pronounce this right, Katagida? The cat skill. It attacks 5 times and does extra large damage. Well, what does extra large damage mean? For some people, it's like a 2,000% modifier. For other people, it's a 4,000% modifier. If you go to the Another Eden wiki, you can see the actual numbers in the modifiers. And in this case, the cat skill, I'm looking at the wiki right now, is 150% plus a modifier. 150% is not a very large number. For comparison, Mini's Astrophy is a magic attack, attacks 4 times. It's also extra large. Well, according to the wiki, it starts at 150% and it can go up to 2,250% plus modifier. So the Mini's Astrophy skill will very likely do more damage than the cat skill. But that all aside, when I'm looking at the wiki, if I don't see skills that are hitting like 6,000, 7,000, 8,000, 10,000% modifiers, I don't usually consider them damage dealers. You can certainly build them that way, and a lot of them can do fairly respectable damage. But now that the game is starting to pump out bosses with like 50 billion, 100 billion health, I'm looking more at the 10,000 modifiers versus the 2,000 modifiers, since we're only limited to 6 characters. So at a glance, Velette screams support to me. Her unique skill, the Astrophy series, Timos, Orgia, and Mini's Astrophy, basically give the entire party critical rate of 100%, magical critical rate of 100% just for a few moves. She has a zone ability called Amped that we're going to talk about. But basically, in short, if you're in a thunder zone and she's in the front line, the thunder zone itself will get stronger and stronger and stronger the more thunder attacks there are. The Astrophy series also reduces thunder resistance, and it can actually max out at 100%. So that is her unique skills. She has Deleterio, Scarpello, we're going to go with that, which basically, besides doing damage, inflicts pain and poison. It's persistent, ignores target resistance. So you cast this once, the enemy has poison and pain for life. I'm not even going to attempt to pronounce that one, but she can stun targets. Exousia, or Exousia perhaps. If you're in Thunder stance, it gives 100% power, intellect, speed, and thunder attack to all characters. It improves their maximum MP by a whole lot, and it applies mental focus to everyone, which improves magic damage based on maximum MP. And remember that you just upped everyone's MP as well. So Exousia is really great with a Thunder team, and in particular, any Thunder users that do magic damage. She has the ability to deploy. I'm just skipping half these names. She has the ability to deploy Thunder Zone and provide a regen. If there's a Thunder Zone out there and she casts the skill a second time, it awakens the zone, though that only can happen once. She has Katagida, which improves critical damage and magical critical damage. It also is the multi-upgrade skill, which if you have a skill that hits, for example, 4 times, each hit will get stronger and stronger. It caps out on any skill that has 5 hits. So the 5th hit is really, really powerful, but hits 2, 3, and 4 are also still increasing in power as well. And that is for the whole team. And that buff effect is improved if the Thunder Zone is amped up past level 50. And the reason she has a self-healing skill is because I happen to have a grasta. Normally, she won't have that. So when you look at all of these skills, there's a lot of really good skills to choose from. It's actually hard for me to limit it down to 3. And to some degree, Deleterio is going to depend if you have another character providing pain or if you don't. If you have another character that can do pain, then you can ditch this skill, and I would probably put on Minnie's Astrophy for the 3rd skill. So these would probably be my skills of choice if someone else is providing pain. If not, these are my skills of choice. And you might go, well, Crono, that seems a little weird. You just said Minnie's Astrophy, looking at the wiki, is her highest damage skill. And it is. And it hits 4 times, which is nice. And it reduces thunder resistance up to 100%. So the entire thunder team that you're probably going to be with are all hitting an enemy that has tremendously reduced resistances to thunder. Who wouldn't want that? Well, very few people wouldn't. I'm one of those few people. Pain is kind of a requirement these days, so you have to have someone that can provide pain. So if you don't have anyone else on your team, this one is pretty much your go-to. Exousia. In Thunder Zone, 100% power, 100% intellect, 100% speed, 100% thunder attack. I'm not sure if max MP goes up 50% or stays at 25, but either way, especially with the speed, because thunder teams excel in another force bursts. So you want a very speedy team to get as many hits in as possible. They can get tremendous combo rates going. So Exousia is a really, really good skill for the entire team. So that one's kind of, yes, you want that one, especially with mental focus. And that will come into play if you have other thunder characters like Izuna, for example, who does magic damage. The mental focus there really, really helps. And then the other one, the cat skill. It hits 5 times, which is great for keeping an AF burst going. It improves everyone's critical damage and magical critical damage. Well, she's not the main damage dealer. Usually other thunder characters like Izuna or Obero are your main damage dealers. So if they can do 30% more in a critical hit, and they're pretty much always critting, that's nice. And multi-upgrade, your entire team are all hitting for way more damage than normal. This is a very, very strong skill. And if you're in an amped up Thunder Zone, all these buff effects are increased. These are doubled, 60%, 60%. That's amazing. So yeah, I tend to run without the thunder resistance reduction, because the critical rate the team pretty much already has with Elpis weapons and stuff like that regardless. So now, as I said though, if you have someone else like Miyu, for example, that can apply pain, then you don't need this skill, and Minnie's Astrophy would be your 3rd most likely. But that's how I play. You play however you want. As far as order of the skills, those of you that have seen my videos, I usually stick a debuff in slot 3, a buff in slot 2, and the spammable AF skill in slot 1. So debuff is pain, Exosia is the team buff, and the cat skill is the spammable one because 5 hits is nice. Now, the other thing to point out with Velette, she is a hammer user. In fact, Minor, Hammer, Cronos Empire, and Thunder are her personality traits. However, if you read the description of the skills, this is a magic attack. Magic. 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 Nothing. Magic. Magic, and doesn't kind of really exist for most people. She is a magic damage dealer. She is not a blunt user. So don't confuse the fact that if she has this really big hammer, she's not a blunt character. She is a magic damage dealer. It's thunder magic, so she's great in a thunder team, but she's also okay in a magic team. Though she does lose a lot of functionality by not being in a thunder zone if she's in a magic team. So those are kind of the two areas that you want her to be in. Let's talk about Gunts really quick. If you have Velette 5-star, whether it's through upgrading or a random pool, you get Gunts. Gunts, his auto skill, so he'll do it every single turn. He will inflict Thunder Element Break, 3 stacks worth. He will improve the party's type resistance. Remember, that's like your elemental type, so fire, thunder, etc. That resistance will go up and it stacks. And if you are in a thunder zone, the sidekick charge bar will stack a little quicker. His charge skill, he will attack 10 times with a thunder magic attack. And he grants Lunatic to everyone on the front line who happens to have the Thunder personality. So you have Lunatic in addition to Mental Focus. If Velette is in the front line, and why wouldn't she be, he can redeploy an Awakened Thunder Zone. So there you have it. You have a way to redistribute an Awakened Thunder Zone over and over and over and over again. And then his aura is awesome as well. If you blow the AF gauge, or if you fight a boss that drains the AF gauge on the first turn, right off the bat, permanently for the rest of the fight, all party member stats go up by 20%. It only affects the party, not the enemies, because some auras will affect both. So your main damage dealers, their power is going to go up by 20%. Their intellect is going to go up by 20%. Your tanks, their endurance and spirit are going to go up by 20%. If you have a critical guard tank, their luck would go up by 20%. Technically, even if you don't have a critical guard tank, their luck would still go up by 20%. It's just not helpful. So, and the Thunder team, as I mentioned, excels by blowing the AF gauge and refilling it quickly. So it's pretty much a guarantee that very quickly into the fight, everyone's stats are going to go up by 20%. He has another one. Under certain weather conditions, the party's type resistance will go up. Yay, if that happens. I don't really use him for that. As far as equipment, if you have him in the front line, it's kind of up to you. If you want him to actually act as a little mini healer, you could give him the healing jewel. I have him right now with the Thundercrack necklace, which just gives him another thunder magic attack and a chance to inflict a power reduction every time he goes. But as I said, that part, not so important. The main thing is he can redeploy an Awakened Thunder Zone, and he can buff up the team quite severely. So now that you know a little bit about Velette's skills and about Gunts, I usually move on to the part where I pair her up with free characters and kind of show off her skills. I kind of had an issue with this part. Not because she's not an awesome character, she is. It's just that, first of all, there aren't many Thunder characters that are free that are available until you get to like Omegapolis. So I don't have that many Thunder characters to choose from if I'm doing a true mid-game scenario. So this is what I've come up with. It's definitely not the best. Cyrus is a free character that you can get once you start the Octopath collaboration. Same with Tithy. And then Victor is a free Thunder character as well. He's not a particularly good one. In fact, mine's only level 60. I've never even gotten him to 80. But all of these characters technically are available before you ever reach the Into the Hollow chapters. And that's kind of my dividing line. Once you finish Goddess of Time, I consider you more in the end game. So my free characters, mid-game teams in these character development videos, they tend to be anything you can get before you reach Into the Hollow Part 1. Now, if you've gone a little bit further, Comlinage is a free Thunder character that you get during the Hollow series. And Skull is another free Thunder character. He's from the Persona crossover. Aside from them, there aren't that many Thunder characters in general, so keep that in mind. Now I'm missing a few like Xion ES and such, but I'm not missing that many characters, and this is pretty much what I have access to. And not all of them are Stellar Awakened, like Utpalaka could be, for example. Miyu, her 4-star base character, is fairly common, and she has her own personal quest chain that allows her to reach her 5-star. So most people will have Miyu, and her extra style, which you can side grade from, that one actually is a fairly powerful Thunder character. Her Levin Longitus pierces barriers naturally. You don't need any setup for that. She can produce pain, and she enhances combo rates and everything. So if you're in early mid-game and you have Miyu, it is possible to save up the treatise, or actually these are the codexes. The codexes, Athena Codex is what you want, and you can side grade to Miyu. Do I recommend it? She's not really used in endgame that much, and I really wouldn't recommend it personally, but that is an option for probably a lot of you. So this free team. First, let's talk about Velette and her gear. So I mentioned that she's a magic user. However, all of her damage is based on her power rating. So you don't want to give her things like intellect badges. That doesn't help. You want things that give power. Now, if you build Velette as what I consider a typical support, that's usually weapons, armor, and badges that are kind of a blend between survivability and damage. And then grasta that usually enhance hit points just so that your support characters can take a few hits if they need to. It's not really geared for DPS. You could give her the typical Power of Pains grasta and a weapon that, well, not Elpis for mid-game, but the Void Hammer, for example, would give her a 100% critical rating. So you could build her for DPS. But, as I said, usually she leaves the DPS to other characters. So, in this case, I opted for the Kwai weight. It gives her extra health, specifically 1,000 extra health. The Tempered Bracelet, whatever level you can get it to, each point I think gives 50 health if I remember right. The Winged One's badge. Thunder users like things that improve combo rates. Since they're always doing an AF burst, it's nice to have some combo rate ores, combo rate gear, combo rate skills to get that combo rate up really, really high so they do lots of damage. And the Winged One's badge is something that you can get from the Astral Archives Book of Peninsula Fulminu. And all you have to do, if you have access to that book, is to do a simple quest. It's not like you have to beat it in challenge mode or anything. You have to clear the sub-quest, Come Join Me Cutie, in the Winged People's Village. So this is accessible mid-game. And then I just have self-healing, which has some health. The MP Restore, which has some health. And the Power of Rebirth, which has some health. Really anything that has 300 health could work. And then I threw in some combo rate enhance ores and then 1 HP ore. The combo rate enhance ores drop from the Underworld, another dungeon, so it technically can be achieved before you enter the Hollow chapters. So this is one example of mid-game gearing. Now in this team, which I admit is not that powerful, Cyrus I chose to be the main damage dealer. His skills, particularly Magia Synthesis, or Magia, it's his stellar skill. So, but it does do a decent amount of damage for a free character. But he has the ability to put down a Thunder Zone. Tithy is a Thunder user as well. Her skills will reduce type resistance, will improve type attack for the party, improve the speed of the party, can improve type attack from several moves, critical damage, if she's Stellar Awakened, so she can be helpful as well. And then Victor, pretty much my only choice. It was him or Skull, and I tried Skull out, and I didn't like what Skull could do. I don't really like what Victor can do either, but at least his Divine Cry increases combo rate. So if nothing else, he's improving other people's damage. He has things like slash resistance, which only helps him. None of the other users are slash users. We have magic damage. Tithy, I think, is magic damage as well. And Velette, who's magic damage. So a magic zone technically might not be a horrible thing, but so since Cyrus is the main damage dealer in this group, I have another free character in the back holding some grasta that are available mid-game. Enhance if max HP staff, sound body staff, and almighty power bookworm. Why bookworm? Because Cyrus is also a bookworm. And then for the other one, I just went ahead and found a random hammer user for Velette. Whoops. And he has Enhance if max HP and Sound Body Hammer. Nothing, not much. I don't even have a third grasta. So to show off how this free team, this mid-game geared free team works, we are in the traditional Nagsham test dummy area. And I'm going to show you this fight twice, and then I'm going to go use it as a practical application. The first, if you do not have Cyrus and Tithy Stellar Awakened, and it's not really the best of examples because I do have some of their stellar skills equipped, but I'm not going to Stellar Burst. So I mentioned the Thunder team is really good in bursts. So we are going to burst. We're going to lay down a Thunder Zone immediately. We're going to reduce type resistance, inflict pain, and improve the party's power and intelligence. And we're going to do the twos, which is basically a Thunder type attack. Remember, Cyrus, his ice will change based on the zone. We're going to improve the party's type attack and speed. Buff up the party with Velette's Exosia. And he's going to Vajra, which reduces a little bit of slash resistance. Then from that point, we're just going to spam Magia Synthesis, Thunder Beast's Verse, the Cat skill, and Divine Cry. And we're going to see how much damage we can do in one AF burst. 3, 3, 3, 3, 2, 2, 2, 2, and all ones. So one thing to notice, the combo rate does go up very quickly. We have those combo rate enhance ores, we have the skills that improve combo rate, and we are taking a chunk out of Bag Batty's health. We did 159 million in damage with this very admittedly weak free team with mid-game gear. Now we need to build back up the AF bar, so we're just going to attack with all 4 of them. I mentioned Velette's amped skill. The Thunder Zone, you'll see, has a little number. Right now we're at 51. That is her amped skill. Every time thunder damage is done, it amps up, and at the end of the turn it cools off a little bit and loses a few points. But this amped improves thunder damage, and it can go all the way up to 99. So by using thunder attacks, you're going to see that number go up. Obviously in an AF burst, it goes up even faster. Alright, second to last turn. Let's see, let's go ahead and rebuff. We don't need, actually, let's do the 2s. 2, 2, 2, and he's just going to do 1 again. Alright. Obviously, last turn, we're going to blow the AF gauge. He's just going to attack. We'll go ahead and do a 3 to reduce type resistance. She's going to attack because we don't need pain. And he's going to do a 3 as well and then attack. So we're going to do 1, 3, 1, 3, and then pretty much all 1s after that. And this time we're starting in a slightly amped zone, and we already have some debuffs and some buffs going. So you should see a little bit more damage this time around. So 1, 3, 1, 3. 1, 3, 1, 3, all 1s. And we're just spamming the first skill. Which, remember, if you watch other people's YouTube videos, and there's plenty of good ones out there, most of the others kind of set up their skills a little differently than mine. Their final skill, the one closest to the AF and the Stellar skill, the one I call 3, that's their spammable one. Now you notice the combo rate is at 700%. We just did 446 million in damage to Bag Batty. So between the first and the fourth, we did 663 million with what I will admit is a fairly weak team by my standards. But what you can take away from this, if you get Cyrus, if you get Tithy, and if you have Victor or some other Thunder user, possibly from the gacha, you can reproduce with mid-game gear probably around 500 million to 600 million, kind of depending if they're using their stellar skills or just their regular attacks. So we're going to do that one more time, and I just realized I never showed you the 2 sidekicks. We have Iridian and Gunts. Iridian heals, and Gunts, after the first AF bar, the team's stats go up by 20%. Now, if you do happen to have the 2 of them Stellar Awakened, this is what you can see. You know what? I don't think their AF gauge is full. It's not. Okay. Alright. That's okay, we're just going to show off the skills, so. Alright, so now we're going to... Actually, do we need to do this one at all? Nope. So we'll just do that one. 2, 2, and 2. All the ones. Alright, turn 4. He's going to attack. We will re-debuff, attack, and re-buff. So now we're going to go ahead and burst. Guns' aura should be active because we start off with 0 AF gauge. In fact, we can double check. His aura is not in effect, so we must have had a little tiny bit of an AF gauge at the start. That's disappointing. Okay, well either way, we're going to go ahead and burst. We're going to do all the ones, but this time we're going to do the stellar skill when we get the combo rate pretty high. So, 1, 1, 1, 1. I'm kind of watching the combo bar and my timer. We're at 500%. $600. Our amped is almost at 99. Alright, now we'll burst. We'll do Magia Synthesis and Thunder Beast's Verse. And Bag Baddie is defeated. And we still have some time. Add insult to injury. But there you go. If you have those 2 free characters Stellar Awakened and you use their Stellar skills, it is a lethal team. It's not like this is a bad team. If you're just starting out in the game and Velette is one of your very first pulls, you can conceivably come up with this team. These 2 might not eventually be Stellar Awakened, but you saw even using, even without using the Stellar Burst, though technically using their Stellar skills, they were still doing, you know, in the hundreds of millions in damage. So, now, Thunder teams are at a slight disadvantage for several reasons. Thunder was not one of the initial elements, I don't think. At least, really the first free Thunder character you ran into was Kamlanaj, and then a few other characters started appearing around then. So, a lot of the early bosses are resistant to Thunder. The other issue is that the Thunder team, unless you have Orlea, doesn't really have a good tank. So you either have to burst things down in one turn, or, let me stop and think for a second here. Or you have to fight things that don't have HP stoppers. So if you have Velette and just a handful of free characters, what can you do with her? Well, there are a lot of old manifest fights that you can do that do not have HP stoppers. Now, a lot of these older fights also don't have much HP. I believe this fight, this is the max level fight for Annabelle. I want to say they only have like 6 million in health, which might sound like a lot if you're a very brand new player, but we just saw that this team did hundreds of millions in an AF burst, and we have an AF gauge. So, 3, 3, 3, 3, 2, 2, 2, 2, all ones. And you can see that this particular manifest fight has already been defeated. So, a mid-game Thunder team, if you're fighting things that don't have HP stoppers, like horrors or story bosses or old manifest fights, it can accomplish things. So we just did 108 million in damage, and if we had Annabelle, we now would have her max level manifest weapon. So this team does have its uses, but I was looking through the wiki, I was looking for super bosses. I tried a few that had HP stoppers, and they could easily get the boss down to the HP stopper, but then the boss would attack and pretty much kill the team. And it didn't really matter which boss it was, because this team doesn't really have much in the way of defenses. So, but again, I tried to be very true to what was available to people before Into the Hollow. So that eliminated a ton of characters I could have selected from, and left me pretty much with Skull and who you see used. So not the best example of a mid-game team, but if your only goal is to progress through the storyline, to defeat and farm horrors maybe, to beat story bosses, this team, unless something is immune to Thunder, should be able to handle it, as long as you don't take damage in the process. So this video might serve for two videos. The boss I've chosen to showcase for Velette's advanced team is Edaxian Zennon Ogre's Shadow. This boss is a one-shot boss. Once you kill him, you can't repeat the fight. So if I happen to win, I'm going to make a separate video just showing the boss fight. But for those of you watching that video, hopefully I get to make it, this is being filmed in part for my deep dive, my character development video on Velette. So Velette shines with a Thunder team, and right now one of the best Thunder teams involves usually Oboro, Izuna, or both of them. Orlea AS is about the only true Thunder tank we have right now. So this is the team I have. Velette is geared as such. We have the Elpis Hammer Leopard Bracelet, which improves combo rate, and the Winged One's badge, which improves combo rate. We have self-healing, MP restore, and actually now I'm thinking about, I might have just a random power of pain with combo rate on it. I made a few. Yes, there's one. So now add a little bit of damage. She doesn't really need health. We're kind of going all out on damage here. So we have Power of Pain with combo enhance rate, self-healing with combo enhance rate, and Power of Offense Thunder, which, if you're not familiar with that one, improves party damage by 15% as long as we are in a Thunder zone. Oboro has the Elpis Dagger, Leopard Ring, a plus 50 power badge, which is the highest one I have. He has 3 Power of Pains, 1 with Bullseye, 1 with Rose with Thorns, and 1 Awaken Zone enhancement. Izuna has Elpis Rod, Dryad's Ring, and Vitality Badge, though you could also give her the highest Intellect badge you have. In fact, let's just go ahead and do that. She has Power of Pains as well, the third one being Last Stand, which has Adversity. For every enemy past 1, number 1, damage is increased. And this particular boss has a left arm and a right arm, so we're fighting 3 things. And then Orlea, who normally I would gear as a tank with HP, grasta, and such, but here we are. We have Elpis Axe, Elpis Necklace, and Power Badge, once again in our combo rate enhancement ore, and some Power of Agonies. For reserve characters, Palm has 4 slots available because her light is over 200, so she has Power of Thunder, 2 enhance if max HPs, and 1 power of awakening. If I only had 3 slots, I would probably remove one of the enhance if max HPs. Sukiya has Power of Thunder to boost up Obero's damage, and then Mask and Eastern. It just so happens Obero is Eastern and Mask, and Izuna is Eastern and Mask. So Sukiya is buffing both of them. For sidekicks, normally I have Tetra and Gunts, but again we're going all out damage here. So we have Gunts for his plus 20 to stats aura, and Moke, who you get with the Little Lily. When you hit weak point damage, all parties' critical and magical critical damage, not rate, goes up by 30%. And we will be hitting weak points. So that is the team, and we're going to fight, hopefully, for the first, last, and only time, the Edaxian Zennon Ogre Shadow. Now, to give credit where credit's due, I saw another friend of mine on Reddit and YouTube, Tyra Guin. He did this fight with a Thunder team. I glanced at his video. It was fairly straightforward, actually, but I did not look at how he geared his team, so the gearing is my decision. It might be that he did it in a much easier way. But in general, the plan, if all goes according to plan, the Zennon Ogre drains the AF gauge, but Izuna has a passive that, because she's Stellar Awakened, that fills the AF gauge. And so Gunts' aura is already in effect. We are going to blow the AF bar. We're going to get pain on there, reduce / resistance a little bit, buff, and we're going to Foudry Hash, which will improve the combo rate a little bit. We're going to skip Thunder Zone because right now we have a Thunder Zone. So we're going to do 3, 3, 3, 1. Then we're going to switch and do all 2s. Exousia, Rage and Repa, Thunder God Dance, and All You Mage. And we're going to do all 1s. Cat Skill, Rising Beat, Thundercrack, Foudry Hash. So 3, 3, 3, 1, all 2s, and then all 1s. And the goal, hopefully, we can bring him down and force him into the next phase. So 3, 3, 3, 1, all 2s, all 1s. 3, 3, 3, 1, all 2s, all 1s. What you'll notice, because of all those combo rate items, the Leopard gear, you'll see that the combo rate is skyrocketing. We're already at 700%, 800, and as it goes up, damage goes up, and you'll see that thanks to Velette, we have 99 stacks in our Thunder Zone. All right, a couple more Thunder Cracks, and hopefully we'll be good. All right, 1500% combo rate. And we did force him into phase 2. He only has 1 life point, so yay. However, he does break the zone. So now what we're going to do, we are going to burst, Rising Beat, and Thundercrack. When you use Thundercrack in a Stellar Burst, you gain some of the AF gauge back, which allows us to burst again. So this time the plan, we'll go ahead and do the exact same thing as before. This time, we're going to do Orlea's 3, which deploys a Thunder Stance. So we gain our Thunder Zone back. So we're going to do all 3s, all 2s, and then all 1s, and hope for the best. 3, 3, 3, 3, 2, 2, 2, 2, and now all 1s. And the goal is to try and reproduce what we did in the first burst. And it looks positive. I think the boss might be down. Let's see how high we can get the combo rate going. 1200%, 1300%. Our amped is already at 99 again. Just for fun. Because we can. $1,500, $1,600. I was hoping to get 1,700. All right, that went well. Thank you, Tyragoon. I hope I pronounced your name correct. All right, we got a Kingly Remnant, which I'm not quite sure what that is. I just know that this is Super Boss, and I wanted to kill it. But so yay, okay. But perhaps more importantly than that, that shows Velette's role in a Thunder team. As you saw, the main damage dealers were Obero and Azuna. It was not Velette. She played support. But thanks to my choice of skills, she was able to apply pain. She was able to buff the team. And she was able to improve magical critical damage, multi-upgrade, so as they hit 3, 4, 5 times, their hits got stronger and stronger, and she had the amped zone. It stacked at 99 very easily with Thunder, and so the zone damage, the buffs you got from being in the Thunder zone, were improved a whole lot. For those of you that may be trying this fight, I think when the boss uses up his first life point, I think he dispels the buffs on the team, so it's a good idea to go ahead and rebuff like I did instead of jumping straight into the AF spammable skills. But, you know, whatever works, yay, that worked. But that was an example of Velette in an advanced Thunder team taking down an upper tier 11 super boss, which is currently, as of the time of this recording, it says it's tier 11.8 and the highest tier is 12, so not that far away. Yeah, we just killed it in basically 2 turns. So that is how Velette enhances a Thunder team and how a Thunder team can perform with Velette. Before we get to conclusions, what I'd like to do is go to the parallel time layer, Nagsham, and the team that you just saw beat the Zennon Ogre. Geared exactly the same. I literally just finished that fight and I am warping over to PTL Nagsham. What I would want to do is show you on this test dummy numerically what I just did to the Ogre. Now there are obviously some differences. This test dummy is not naturally weak to Thunder, so we don't get all the weakness bonuses. But we're going to do what we did in the first AF burst. We're going to set down pain, reduce slash resistance, buff, food rehash. Then we're going to do all the 2s, and then spam the 1s. And so you'll see what the total damage is with this Thunder team featuring Velette. on a boss that's not weak to thunder. So 3, 3, 3, 1, 2, 2, 2, 2, all ones. We'll go ahead and work in a few AF bursts, because why not? Rising beat, thunder crack. Don't know if we'll have enough time to work in more, but we'll see how quickly the gauge fills up. In fact, we might do a second one where we wait till the very end with a very high combo rate and compare the differences. So we're at 700%. %. So, not as high of a combo rate. Boss is not weak to thunder. And this team still pulled off about 150 billion in damage. So imagine what type of damage they did to the Edaxion Zennon Ogre Shadow on a boss that was weak to thunder and had double the combo rate. You almost feel sorry for him, but not really. So there you go, ladies and gentlemen. If you randomly pull a 5-star Velette, you gain not only a great thunder support character, but a tremendously powerful sidekick that's useful in a lot of teams. Velette herself, her skills are all geared towards thunder and magic, and a lot of her abilities are boosted when she's in a thunder zone, which she herself can deploy and her sidekick Gunts can deploy. When she is part of a thunder team, she is most helpful with her buffs and really the whole team, whatever she can do to improve the combo rate. So whether that's through skills, through equipment, through grasta, or etc. As you saw, when thunder teams reach very high combo rate levels, they put out ridiculous amounts of damage. And thanks to Velette and her amped up thunder zone, they do even more damage than if they were in just a regular awakened thunder zone. So Velette, hands down, as of this recording, probably the best thunder support character in the game and a staple in thunder teams. If you don't have Velette, you have a very seriously weakened thunder team, even if you had all the other characters involved. So if you pull Velette, I hope this video gives you some tips on where to go with her. Gear-wise, remember, you don't have to gear her the way I do. I have her geared for combo rate enhancement. 4 items here, all enhanced combo rate. You could build her for DPS. You could, I mean, her health is kind of low. You could do what I do with a lot of characters, which is simply give them 300 health and 300 health ore to boost up her health. You lose the combo rate enhancement if you do that. So, but again, there's no one way to play this game correctly. I'm just showing you what I've found her to be capable of, and hopefully if you pull her, you can kind of watch this video, get some idea of where to go, because I realize damage dealers are always very simple. You give them the Elpis weapon, you give them 3 power of pains, and they're good to go. But support characters are a little more confusing on how to gear them. This is one way, not saying it's the best way, but hey, it works for me. So anyway, I hope this video helps. Casual Crono, signing out.